Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We start with a story from Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister said on Wednesday that due to the vaccination thrust, Trinidad and Tobago was now in a better place in the fight against COVID-19 than previously, as he sought to justify his motion to end the state of emergency at midnight. Speaking in the House of Representatives, President Paula May Weeks had originally proclaimed a state of emergency SOE on May 15, 2021, noting foreign reports of a fourth wave in infections. Dr. Rowley said, I quote, "It appears that the virus will be with us for a long time," end of quote. He said last May the country had been in a desperate situation regarding vaccine access and so had restricted movement and gatherings to try to curb people's exposure to the virus and had encouraged people to wash their hands as a deterrent to spreading the virus. Rowley said last May only 14,000 people were vaccinated. However, currently 653,000 people have received a first dose, followed by 629,000 with a second dose. Meanwhile, the country continues to record a high number of daily COVID-19 infections, with 781 cases being reported on Wednesday. The 781 cases continue the trend of rising daily cases which began in October. The Health Ministry has said that the rising numbers are due, at least partially, to the presence of the Delta variant, which is 3 to 4 times more transmissible than the original variant. We now tell you that Switzerland's financial regulator reprimanded 2 more Swiss banks for breaching their obligations to combat money laundering as it wrapped up a 5-year investigation into banks' dealings with people linked to Venezuela's state oil company, PDVSA. The FINMA watchdog group contacted 30 Swiss banks during its investigation. It has already taken issue with 2 former chief executives of private bank Julius Baer and wrapped Credit Suisse for anti-corruption failings. Turning to Brazil. Deforestation in Brazil's Amazon rainforest has hit its highest level in over 15 years, official data shows. A report by Brazil's space research agency INPE found that deforestation increased by 22% in a year. Brazil was among a number of nations who promised to end and reverse deforestation by 2030 during the COP26 climate summit. The Amazon is home to about 3 million species of plants and animals and 1 million indigenous people. It is a vital carbon store that slows down the pace of global warming. According to the latest data, some 13,235 square kilometers was lost during the 2020-2021 period, the highest amount since 2006. Environment Minister Joaquim Leite said that the data represents a challenge by saying, I quote, "We have to be more forceful in relation to these crimes," end of quote. He added that the data does not exactly reflect the situation in the last few months. Deforestation of the Amazon has increased under President Jair Bolsonaro, who has encouraged agriculture and mining activities in the rainforest. And internationally, a state of emergency has been declared in the Canadian western province of British Columbia after a major storm cut roads and rail links in the region. The Canadian Armed Forces have been deployed to help thousands of stranded residents who have been trapped since the storm hit overnight on Sunday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau pledged assistance during a visit to Washington, D.C., and said troops would help in the rebuilding of the infrastructure. 1 woman was killed in a landslide and 2 people are missing. Officials expect more fatalities to be confirmed in the coming days. Thousands of farm animals have died and many more remain trapped in the floodwaters after the storm passed through one of Canada's most agriculturally intensive areas. Some 20,000 people are yet to return to their homes after an atmospheric river, a long strip of moisture in the air that transports water from tropical areas towards the poles, dumped the region's monthly rainfall average in 24 hours. British Columbia Premier John Horgan announced a 2-week emergency order on Wednesday to keep people off of flooded roads in order to expedite rescue activities. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.